Hi guys, welcome to our second episode. This is Talk It Out, and as usual, we are your host. I'm Ella.
And I'm Leslie. Welcome back, guys.
So, for this episode, we've titled it "Girls Who Pray
And
and Slay."
Slay. So Ella, what would you say like Slay is in terms of like
Um, I know that when they heard "slay," they're all thinking, "Hey, well," but in this context, slay would mean a lot of things. Slay
okay.
would mean showing up. Slay would mean being hardworking. Slay would mean praying.
Slay would mean being confident.
Yes. Slay would mean being ambitious.
Yeah.
And um, I would go back to, I mean, I feel like in this generation, no, with our generation, it's okay. I think it was with our moms where they feel like if you're prayerful, you don't have to look a certain way or do certain things because God does everything.
Yeah, because back in the days, like if I'm saying back in the days, like I was there back in the days, but like the stories that I've heard
That, yeah,
from back in the days, like if you are prayerful or if you're a Christian, they expect you to behave in a certain
certain type
kind
of,
of way.
yeah.
Like, but I think in our generation, things are a bit twisted, and sometimes it actually gets me thinking: Are we really doing the right thing or not? But when we read the Book of Esther, because we were like, we are going to use Esther for our
Yeah, for
main,
this particular
yeah,
episode,
it's Esther we are
we're
going
going
to
to talk
talk
about
about.
Esther.
So reading the Book of Esther, I was like, you know what? Sometimes being prayerful or being a Christian doesn't mean you have to be this certain type of way. It also means taking good care of yourself because, mind you, it was Esther, yeah, that she was oiled. She oiled her body for like 12
Yeah,
months or something. Like the Book of Esther really teaches us a lot, and it makes us know that being prayerful doesn't mean I would have said like holy cool, like you're doing this, but that doesn't mean you're also going to, expose yourself too much or whatever. So pray and slay, we chose that because it's like a balance between the
yeah.
two. What do you
And
think?
we actually chose Esther because Esther's story is one of the most, I think now is my favorite. It's my favorite. Every other week I have a favorite Bible Bible story, but because we were doing this episode and we read about it and we discussed it, and I remember before even we decided to do this, we
Talk
had,
about it. We
yeah,
had already
had
done
a
it.
conversation about the whole Esther, and we felt like, oh, this is a phase that we are both kind of in, and it's something that we'd like to share with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And normally when we talk about Esther, like most people know it's favor.
yeah,
That's Esther because Esther found favor in the king's eyes, everyone's eyes. What was the woman's name? I've even forgotten. But yeah, in everyone's eyes. So most people talk about favor, but sometimes we forget about how courageous she was
yeah,
and relating it to our real life, like activities, daily activities, stories, and then everything. I just feel there's a lot to learn from
from
Esther
that story.
from that
Yeah,
story.
and talk about favor. Should I read? I would like to sort of read a bit of the story, just
Preach
just
on,
before
preacher.
we get into whatever that we want to say, because I want you
Yeah.
guys to understand the story. I mean, before we read about it, all that I had heard about was Esther and Mordecai. I actually had not really didn't understand what was going on at that time.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna start from there, and we'll give you guys our take and what we think.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's just a little something. Esther was a Jew raised by her cousin Mordecai. That's what I said. And at that time, the Jews were sort of like hated. Should I say hated? Yeah, there was sort of like a backlash between the Jews and the kingdom because the king's sort of like first hand, like soldier, had asked Mordecai to bow before him. And Mordecai refused because again he's a Jew. And even
Yeah.
in the UK, like not to mess with Jews. Like they're very like highly disciplined, highly religious, highly respected.
Yeah.
So because of that, the king's soldier convinced the king to give a decree
Okay.
to sort of like, let's kill all Jews, let's remove all Jews. Now, before then, the king had not heard anything about Mordecai. The king did not know that it was because of Mordecai that the official wanted that decree to come. So now, fast forward, the king had announced that he needed a new queen, right? Esther heard about this, knowing that she was a Jew. The craziest part about this story was Esther hid her identity throughout,
So yeah.
like hid her identity throughout. Now the king says, "I want a new queen." Esther, as a Jew, had the courage to say, "I want this role, and I'm going to sort of prepare for it." And here it says she prepared for 6 months, or was
it
it for
12? I think it was a
I've
year.
forgotten, but she actually prepared for a very long time. Like when we say preparation, she fasted days without water, without food, took care of herself, took care of her skin. Now this story is the center of the episode. I want you guys to understand that favor isn't just favor without effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, grace is not just grace
Without effort.
you putting in the work. And the thing is, she put in the work without even knowing where it was gonna go.
Yeah.
Because she was a Jew.
Yeah.
And stepping foot into the palace meant she was going to be killed. But she prepared. She waited. And when the time came, when she got to the palace, among all the women, she was the one that was chosen.
Yeah.
Among all of them, she was the one that was chosen. Now, she was able to overturn that decree that had already been written against the Jews by the king. She was able to overturn that decree, and then she was able to change them from certain death. Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we want to link that to our modern life because sometimes we feel like, oh, let me just pray. No.
Yeah. It's not only about you just praying.
Yes.
You have to put in the effort. It's not about waking up and then just praying that, God, I want a job. God, I want a husband. God, I want a wife. What are you doing? You see, Esther prepared for that 12 months. So what are you also doing to prepare yourself for that job that you want? Is your CV, is everything intact? Are you doing the internships? Are you doing that? I think that's what sometimes we evict from our normal day lives because people think it's all about just praying that, okay, I want this without not putting in the effort. I want that, and then just lazying around. But it doesn't just like happen just like that. So I think with Esther's story, I also took it from like, I'm just going to fast forward a little bit, like comfort zone.
Yeah.
When Haman, guys, that was the name.
I forgot.
Yeah, Haman, when he wanted to kill Mordecai, and then they were like, oh, what was I've totally zoned out. What was I even about to say? Give me a second.
When Haman was convinced the king to kill Mordecai.
Yes, Esther could have just said, you know what, I'm in the palace already. It doesn't even concern me. Matter. Like, let me just be there because I'm in the palace. If he goes ahead to kill all the Jews, I'm still alive. And then everyone. So that with that story, I was like, we should always get out from our comfort zones because sometimes, like we right now, someone would be where we are and then they'll be like, I'm okay, we're live. Like you're doing a 9 to 5, you are working,
earning money,
you're doing like your normal 12-hour shift and then everything. At the end of the month, you get something and then you be like, you know what, I'm okay. Sometimes you striving for the best or something doesn't necessarily mean you are being greedy or you want more or anything, but we should try and get out of our comfort zones. We'll be like, oh, maybe let's say maybe from a heartbreak or something, you'll be like, you know what, I'm done. I just want to do this. No, you can actually be in that depressed like mood for like a whole month. Yeah, don't be there forever. Leave that comfort zone because I realized that all good things happen when you leave that comfort zone. When I was starting YouTube, I don't know, in the previous episode, I think I told you guys that I used to have a YouTube channel. Ella, I was scared. I was nervous. There was no like me, I'm just Leslie. If I don't have a YouTube channel, what will happen? And sometimes, like, you know, when Mordecai also told Esther that the fact that she is at the palace doesn't mean that she could, you know, Mordecai also kind of warned Esther that, you know what, the fact that you're in the palace, the fact that you're comfortable doesn't mean that you should just neglect your people, because if you neglect your people, they would also know that you're a Jew, and then eventually, like, you're also going to be, you know, affected one way or the other. So sometimes too, we need that push from other people. Like, it could be family, it could be friends, it could be your partner. You need that push so that they could like help you come out of your comfort zone. Because in as much as I'm saying Esther was courageous, Esther was really like brave and then everything, Mordecai's push also helped Esther come out of that comfort zone. So with me, like relating it to like real life, I would say when I was starting my YouTube channel, it was my mom and my uncle. They really helped me like come out of that comfort zone.
Use this podcast as an example because
because like, Ella with you because I think I was a little bit okay with the camera and everything, but with you it's like a push out of your comfort zone, and you didn't do that alone. Like you had people supporting you one way or the other. So I just feel like what I really learned from this story is sometimes we should come out of our comfort zone and don't let it look like, let's say, where you are, it's okay. You have no idea what God has for you. Like you have no idea the limits you can reach. You have no idea how far you can go. And you wouldn't know all of this if you don't come out of your comfort zone.
I would use myself as an example because there's and everything that the person that I've become, like, you know me back from school, so you'd understand when I say the person that I have become. I'm not this outgoing person. I always used to be that girl that was like in the corner, quiet, like in my own box or in my own space. And I feel like with time, I think I kind of started coming out of that because of you, because you are like, no, really, like you have
thank
no
you,
idea.
thank you.
No idea how much you've influenced my life, because
I want to cry, guys. Who's cutting onions?
I feel
such
like
a drama queen.
I wouldn't. There are certain things I wouldn't do if not for her. For real, like I like even this. Who would I feel comfortable enough to come and sit on camera and be like, oh, Ella wants to talk about God. Yes, but make her like.
I get it. Especially with how our generation is right now, because most of the times when you say you're talking about God, like Christianity, people say, boring. They see it as, so boring. So that's why I really like the title of this episode, like Girls Who Pray and Slay. The fact that we are Christians, the fact that we pray, the fact that we do this and this and that doesn't mean we are boring. And even look at the way Esther took care of herself and then everything.
She did skincare,
skincare and then everything, like for 12 whole months.
How to walk, how to talk, her demeanor, like everything.
So we need that preparation in everything that we do. Like you need to prepare yourself for you don't just sit down and expect opportunities to come your way.
Pray or because
you need
up.
get up and then
get up and do something. So like,
and Esther is the only book that God's name wasn't mentioned, but his presence and then everything was everywhere. And with that one too, like the way I just related to our modern day life and then in my life is like sometimes we do things and then we are like, oh, is God quiet? And even I would just take it to, let's say, worship or even prayers. When I'm praying, sometimes when you are praying or you are in this worship session and everything, you feel it. And it got to a time where sometimes I'm like, I'm really singing, I'm doing this, but I feel nothing. And sometimes I'm like, am I doing it right? Is God really here? Am I really doing this? Am I really doing that? But when I read the book of Esther and I was like, you know what? God's name wasn't even mentioned, but his presence was everywhere.
The fact that about that story was, how they overturned that decree against the Jews. It was because randomly the king sort of remembered that Mordecai had saved him once, generations ago. And suddenly he remembered and was like, oh, I remember you saved me one time and I never honored you. So because of this, and that's where I say like God comes in. God can come in even when you don't hear it. He can be there even
if you don't get that, like if you don't get it instantly, it could take years, it could take days, it could take weeks, it could take decades, but he's surely going to pull through. But we are saying it's so easy. We are saying it's not easy, Ella.
No, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not easy to actually
it's not easy.
Push every single day.
Knowing very well that you feel he is silent. Like, it's not easy. People say, trust God, trust this, trust this. See, if you are not in that position, it's hard. Even we are not going to talk, like, obviously I cannot like really say everything, but just looking at our journey.
Yes. there were times that we felt like,
I feel like, you know what, I'm done. Like, I'm literally so done.
no, there were times that I was actually done. Like, I was done. Like, when I say done, literally done.
Yeah.
Like, we've come far. But it's funny that I look back now and I realize every single thing that happened led me to this. You realize that it literally led me to this moment.
Yeah.
Every setback, every misstep that I took, every mistake kind of like brought me to this particular moment that I'm here right now.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how God works. But then you need to continue to push. You need to continue to wake up and decide. And sometimes it is so hard to wake up and you know that whatever. See, the funny thing is that day that you wake up and be like, today I have the energy, I have the motivation. That's the day that the things that you are planning with.
Girl, there are
that day
days that I fast. There are days that I fast because, see, I'm going to be real honest with you guys. It's not every day that I would pray. Like, I'm really trying to be consistent because it's always like consistency over like the quality or whatever it is. But I'm really trying my best to stay consistent. And then days that like I'm from a break, I'm like, okay, you know what? Today I'm back, God. This, that sometimes is the days that I have the most like shittiest days. Excuse my language, but that's the day that everything will just go south. Like you go to work, you miss the bus. You go to work, this will happen. You go to work, that will happen. You won't close early, you won't clock early. Like something from somewhere would just happen. And these are the days that I'm like, you know what? I'm fasting, I'm praying, and sometimes it's so easy to be like, you know what, I'm done. But we should just keep on pushing. We should just keep on trying our best. We should just know that even though God is not like, we are not seeing God in that current situation, it doesn't mean he is not there. I always say he's always there, even on days that he's silent, because God's name wasn't mentioned. But look, we saw God's favor, the way the Jews were saved and then everything.
Yeah,
so
how it wasn't just her that she was saved. It was an entire like generation.
Yeah.
Entire generation.
Yeah.
And I also want to talk about preparation because the whole Esther thing, the whole Esther era is about preparation.
Yeah.
Now, even though she knew what she was preparing for, she didn't know the outcome because
she didn't know the outcome.
Stepping into the palace would have meant certain that like they were literally hated. There was a decree against them, but she's still prepared for it.
Yeah.
I would use me because I'm going to use me a lot because God has really been amazing. Everything that I wouldn't say everything. I was saying where I am right now. Yeah. You know, I told you I am myself sitting here.
Yeah.
It's happening.
And it's happening.
Like, everything that I achieve, it's because if I want, say, a car, I'm dreaming of that car.
Guys, you guys should wait for her next car. Should I tell them? Well, we should wait. Like, let's just hide it.
I envision myself in it, playing whatever song that I'm playing. If I want a job, I envision myself wearing the outfit of the job.
Yeah.
Like, and it has, like, it works. I write my miracles down before they happen. For real, like, and every single,
Yeah, I know.
Every single time, like, sometimes you prepare for things that you don't even know what you're preparing for.
Yeah.
And that's just it. Like, just get out of your comfort zone. That thing that you want.
And even with the comfort zone, I would put it as sometimes we should take risk.
Yes.
Because when Esther said, if I perish, I perish, I was like, oh my God.
And even her own is there too.
Her own was literally like death. Like, but she said, if I perish, I perish. So sometimes we should also take that risk, like that bold step we are really scared of taking. Like, because let's just even say photography. Mm-hmm. Like, it wasn't really easy for me because I just said, you know what, like, as I said earlier on, like this craftiness and then everything. And then I was like, okay, let's just see if I can go into photography. Right now, I'm lazying about Leslie. You see, that's one thing I like about this podcast. It's not only for you, but sometimes it's a quick reality check for us. Leslie, get out of your comfort zone. But yeah, so let's just say photography, for instance. It was a very big risk that I took. William, I remember calling William, like, what camera do you think I should get? What lens? What this? I literally knew nothing. I literally did not know how to operate a camera. And I got my first.
It's a really
it's a very expensive branch to go into. Like, I literally knew nothing about having a camera and then I just bought it. But I was willing to step out of my comfort zone. like in as much as Ella always says, like Leslie was a social media person, like I'm a very, very shy person. Just imagine going for a wedding and then you don't know anyone there and you're kind of like having to direct, do this, and it's a whole lot for me. But like sometimes we need to take the risk, to be very honest. Like
and since you've been doing well.
But right now, guys, I've paused a little because
no, but when she started, I was actually like, she just blew up. Like you were getting
it was by God's grace.
Weekends, like it was
it got to a time out.
Like good for someone that has never been in that field.
And sometimes it's not all risk that's going to end up like so bad or something. Even if I started and it did end up bad, I would rather be like, you know what, I tried and it didn't work, than for me to just sit down and then be regretted that if I had done this. That word, I don't even want it. Like if I had, why don't you do it now?
You have the time now.
You have the time now. You have, and I just feel like right now we are young. Even if you are grown, it doesn't mean that like that's it for you.
Yeah.
You could always explore other opportunities. You could always take risks. If it's a new like field you want to go into, you could. Like sometimes I see TikTok videos and then you see people be like, oh, I did, let's say, nursing and now I'm a software engineer.
Yeah.
I did this and now I'm that. It just shows that like you cannot be stuck in one place.
Like try. I don't know how to put it. It cannot be just like one thing. It can be, you might not, like, look at me. I'm in front of a camera talking. No, I would always say this because you would never know.
You never know.
Like, you would never know unless you decide, okay, I want to do it.
Yeah.
You decide you want to do it. You get up and do it. Don't set timers for next 3 years and next 2 years will come and you're still sitting in that couch.
Because time is always going to come, So you just have to make the most out of it.
Yeah.
So and I want us to talk a little bit about the preparation too, although we've already talked about it. I just remember when before we shot our first ever like episode and everything, we were like, let's fast, let's pray, because we just needed, because sometimes it's not only about you putting in the effort. You can put in I think this thing, it's like you need that balance. It's not only like you putting it, you could put in the effort and without God's grace, like it's not going to get anywhere. So you need that balance, putting in the effort, like taking your spiritual growth, like your Christianity, whatever, your prayers really seriously. So you kind of need that balance. In as much as Esther was courageous, she was brave, she fasted dry fast
for 3 days.
Guys, I tried that dry fast. I couldn't even do it.
Today,
I did only people use that fast.
Like it
have you done the Esther the 3 days?
Haven't, but I've recommended it somewhere.
Guys, I started, but
I haven't. I don't think I have the capacity.
Esther, did I say Esther? Ella, it's dry fast, like no water. No water for 3 days. I tried, but guys, I had to be I don't even know if the 3 days was even up, to be very honest, because it's not easy. But this was how far she was willing to go
to let go,
to
hear God's voice.
and then save her people. So, and sometimes too, we always forget about Queen Vashti. She left so that Esther could be who she is, like who she was or whatever.
Talk about God's alignment. Again, we said God was silent, but he wasn't silent.
He wasn't silent.
Like, right from the beginning, you can see like everything was just set up in a way for her. All she had to do was just prepare. But one thing is, okay, God's grace was there. God stepped in. But that personal care that she did, it wasn't God. It was her own effort.
It was her own. So guys, let's take care of our skin. If you know of any skin recommendations, just say it in the comment section.
Please, if you are praying for a God-fearing husband,
you need to prepare. That's we would.
Can you wake up in the middle of the night when he's saying, "Come and let's pray"?
You have to be.
Sometimes I feel like we pray for these things, but
we are not really putting in the effort.
Yeah, that's why the opportunity can come and then we can miss it.
It's very easy to miss opportunities.
We've not prepared. We've not gotten ourselves ready yet, but we want it.
Yeah.
So
I think this was really nice talking about Esther, because I've heard lots of stories about Esther and everything, but linking it to our modern day life, I don't know. It's just for me, it's a quick reality check for me, in as much as like we are talking to the audience and then everything.
Yeah.
So should this be the end of the episode? It was so nice talking about this.
So this was like I think we might revisit this again. I
Yeah,
think we might
we
revisit
will
it again.
in the near future or something. But
Yeah, there are so many parts to this story, but we just wanted to give you guys
like
just
a
a
brief
little, like,
thingy.
yeah, and we hope that whatever that you are praying for, you're also putting in the effort.
Yeah.
And you are preparing for
And
it.
you're
So
preparing
that when
for
it
it.
comes,
And you are ready to take the risk, ready to leave your comfort zone.
yeah, you don't miss it.
Because in as much as Esther was preparing, she didn't even know what she was preparing for. She knew she would be a queen and then
Yes.
everything, but she didn't know like there was this great tax like
Ahead to
awaiting
save
her.
the Jews.
Exactly.
Like, see how
So
God works.
we can actually prepare and then everything, and we wouldn't even know what we are preparing for, but we should still
Just
prepare
prepare.
and then just psych our minds. So yeah. Thank you so much if you've stayed up to this point, because we were really hoping not to bore you guys. But yeah.
But I think we're so far so good. I mean, yeah, I think we're doing well.
Yeah, I really cannot wait to see you guys in our next episode, and it's going to be much better. I
Much better.
cannot
we
wait.
aspire to make each episode like interesting.
Yeah.
The further we go, the further entertaining it becomes.
Yeah.
So thanks to you guys for staying tuned.
Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like, follow everything, all our
Share,
socials,
comment, whatever
everything.
comment that you have, just
And what you would like to see next too. We are also open
Yeah.
for suggestions and then all of that.
I feel
So
like at the end of we might put an episode that's based off you guys, maybe questions and other things
Yeah.
you guys want to. Yeah. So
see you guys. Have a lovely
you later.
week. Bye.